So it's a bit of a tricky time at the moment, right? I feel like the corona coaster is fully back in action. Emotions are running high, lockdowns looming in the UK at least. America's got a critical election going on. There's all sorts going on in the news. This is a heightened time of emotion, and we've got the full moon to whack just to heighten it all up for us. So yeah, lots of emotions running high at the moment. So how can we help ourselves to feel a bit better? Well, I've got a couple of ideas that I want to share with you. The first thing to say, though, is that all emotions are welcome, right? They're really important. They're our signposts in life. We have to listen to them. They're telling us which way to go, what is working for us, what is not, what we need to do, how we need to change, where we need to go. They're really important. So make sure you acknowledge them, you listen to them, you process them. However, there is a point, right, when you just want to feel a bit better. So what can we do? Well, I've been doing a lot of reading, interestingly, from two different perspectives. One from kind of a neuroscience perspective, so quite scientific, and then another side from the law of attraction, so quite a different approach. And what's beautiful is actually the two things marry together quite well. And there's some really interesting things we can do. So the first thing to know is that emotions and feelings are actually different. Who knew? I just thought they were different words, right? So emotions are kind of our physical reaction to something. We can't do anything about it. We have no control over it. It's a bit like when a dog wags its tail, right? We've got no control. When we involuntarily smile, it's a bodily reaction, and it's generic really to all humans. What's different are our feelings. So our feelings are our mind's interpretation of what our body is reacting to, right? So that's interesting, right? Because our feelings are our interpretation. So they bring in our past experience, where they bring in our belief system that's built up over time. That's something that we can consciously have some control over if we choose to, right? There is a sort of playing field there if we choose to. So that's really interesting. And the other interesting thing from the law of attraction perspective is that there is an emotional scale, okay? It's not just I feel happy, I feel shit. There's a whole load of stuff going on in between. And what we can do is we can choose consciously to reach for a slightly better interpretation of our emotion, which will help us to feel better. And it's almost like mind training in that sense, like strengthening your mindset, right? So how does it work? How does it work? Well, so for example, this is not about a quick fix. It's not about faking it. It's not about going, I'm going to be happy even though I feel crap. That's completely not it. It's more subtle. But what it's saying is, for example, if you're feeling at the bottom end of things, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling grief, and you're at the bottom of that pile, yes, you've got to process that, you've got to feel it, but there will be a point when you need to move on from that. And then it's about choosing to reach for something. It could be anger, right? That can be a release from depression to choose anger. Moving up the scale, then there's things like, if you're in anger, right? What can you do if you're feeling angry? Well, perhaps you can reach for disappointment, right? What if you're feeling bored? Perhaps you can reach for contentment. What if you're feeling overwhelmed, right? Maybe you can reach for impatience. And further up the scale, if you're feeling hopeful, perhaps you can move that into reaching for positive expectation. Okay, so the idea is that you are reaching for something ever so slightly more improved from your original feeling, and you're pushing that interpretation of the emotion to give you more well-being, more sense of, not being stuck in an emotion. I hope that makes sense. I hope I haven't rabbited on too much. I'm very excited about this whole thing. I think it's really powerful, and it gives us some control over how we feel. So have a good week, be kind to yourself, and see you soon. Bye.